Does status or meaning lead to greater well-being at work? Abstract. This article explores the ongoing debate between whether pursuing status or finding meaning leads to greater well-being and job satisfaction in the long run. It reviews the latest research on the status theory of happiness versus the meaning theory of happiness, which consistently shows that meaningful work, rather than status seeking, is the key driver of employee happiness, engagement, and productivity. The article then provides practical recommendations for organizational leaders on how to cultivate more meaningful work, such as connecting jobs to personal values, fostering a sense of purpose, supporting growth and development, recognizing meaningful contributions, and building community. It highlights case studies of companies like Patagonia and Enterprise that have successfully implemented these principles to boost employee well-being and sustainable business success. The article concludes that prioritizing meaningful work should be a top strategic priority for leaders seeking to maximize both employee happiness and organizational performance. While work is an important part of our lives, what truly makes us happy at work? There is an ongoing debate about whether pursuing status or finding meaning leads to greater well-being and job satisfaction in the long run. Today, we will explore the current research on this topic and provide actionable recommendations for organizational leaders seeking to maximize employee happiness and productivity. Research on happiness at work. First, we will review the latest research on what really drives happiness and well-being at work. Scholars have put forward two main theories on this topic, the status theory of happiness and the meaning theory of happiness. According to the status theory, what people desire most is social standing and respect from others, McGee and Galinsky. 2008. Having a high-status job with prestige and influence is believed to lead to the greatest happiness. In contrast, the meaning theory posits that what truly fulfills people is doing work that they find personally meaningful and valuable. Bunderson and Thompson. 2009. Steger et al. 2012. Feeling like one is contributing to something bigger through their work is more central to well-being than status alone. An important study by Dunn and Norton, 2013, conducted for experiments to test these competing theories directly. They found consistent evidence that pursuing meaningful goals, rather than status-seeking ones, led to greater well-being and life satisfaction. For example, in one experiment, individuals who wrote about a meaningful work goal reported feeling less depressed, anxious and fatigued than those who wrote about a prestige-oriented goal. Other research has replicated these findings, showing that meaning has a stronger link to happiness, job satisfaction and engagement than status. Bunderson and Thompson. 2009. Hutter and Ryan, 2010. Steger et al. 2012. While status may be intrinsically rewarding in the short term, studies show it does not sustain well-being in the long run like meaningful work can. McGee and Galinsky. 2008. In fact, an inflated focus on status can impair well-being by increasing social comparisons and anxieties about status loss. Based on this substantial body of evidence, organizational leaders should prioritize cultivating meaning over status in order to maximize employee happiness in a lasting way. Cultivating meaningful work. Now that we understand what research says truly makes people happy at work, how can organizational leaders apply this knowledge to cultivate more meaningful work? Here are some practical recommendations backed by research. Connect work to core values and passions. Allow employees autonomy to work on tasks they personally care about and that align with their own values. Bunderson and Thompson. 2009. Get to know what intrinsically motivates each person. Foster a sense of purpose. Clearly communicate how each role contributes to the organization's overarching mission vision. Emphasize the social impact or value the company provides. Steger et al. 2012. Promote support for personal growth. Offer developmental opportunities like further training, coaching or stretch assignments. Supporting growth satisfies psychological needs for competence and autonomy, Hackman and Oldham. 1976. Recognize meaningful contributions, highlight and praise work that makes a real difference. Not just efforts for their own sake. Recognition should validate the purpose and value served. Grant, 2008. Build community and connection, foster relationships and team bonds. Feeling part of a group pursuing important goals together enhances meaning. Bunderson and Thompson. 2009. Pratt and Ashforth, 2003. The importance of workplace well-being with these practical strategies. Leaders can help redesign jobs and the overall work experience to be intrinsically more rewarding and purpose-driven. This focus on employee well-being and happiness has clear business benefits as well. Research shows that meaningful work improves retention, engagement, performance, productivity, collaboration, and organizational commitment. Bunderson and Thompson. 2009. Grant, 2008. It also reduces counterproductive behaviors like absenteeism and turnover that are costly for companies. Hackman and Oldham. 1976. Hutter and Ryan, 2010. When employees derive a sense of meaning from their roles, they bring more discretionary effort, creativity, and resilience to overcome challenges. Pratt and Ashforth. 2003. Steger et al. 2012. This kind of engaged workforce is invaluable for any organization seeking sustainable competitive advantage. If leaders aim to maximize both employee well-being and business success, prioritizing meaningful work should be a top strategic priority. Case studies of successful implementation to see these principles in action. Consider two real-world examples of companies that have proactively worked to cultivate more meaningful jobs. Patagonia. Outdoor apparel company Patagonia is famous for its commitment to environmental activism and social responsibility. All employees genuinely care about the company's mission of using business to protect nature. Job roles allow staff latitude to be involved in campaigns like voter registration drives on sustainability issues. Patagonia. 2021. The company provides generous paid volunteer days for environmental activism. This fosters an intensely purpose-driven culture where work positively impacts both the planet and local communities. As a result, Patagonia consistently ranks among the best companies to work for and has been profitable for over 50 years. Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise promotes from within and focuses on developing its people long-term. Branch managers have autonomy to shape their locations around community needs like donating vehicles during disasters. The company emphasizes servant leadership where helping others succeed is prioritized over personal status or climbing the ladder. This approach led to the lowest annual manager turnover rate in the industry at just 6%. Enterprise Holdings. 2022. Staff derive sustained meaning from empowering careers invested in customer service and community betterment. Conclusion. Research clearly shows that cultivating meaningful work is key to achieving genuine and lasting happiness. Organizational leaders would be wise to move away from rewarding status alone and instead focus strategies and efforts on redesigning jobs and culture around purpose, growth, impact, and community. The practical recommendations provided offer a starting point for leaders seeking to prioritize employee well-being and strengthen engagement. As seen through successful case studies, these principles can be applied in any industry to boost business outcomes while empowering individuals to find more significance and fulfillment through their work. By making employee wellness and happiness a strategic priority, organizations can build a sustainable competitive advantage through a highly engaged and committed workforce.